Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what the T800 did to the T1000. The stupidity of flat earthers never ceases to amaze me, so today we are—
Stop! Whatever it was you're going to say, just stop.
What's going on, pal?
Well, one, I can't stand your voice and wanted you to shut up. And two, you've got an emergency instruction from NASA Shell headquarters. They want you to cover something. Apparently, it highlights how stupid flat earthers are, even when they aren't even talking about flat Earth.
Ooh, that sounds quite exciting. Who is it? Who's done the big stupid?
Oh, I really do hate your voice. Apparently, allegedly, Dave has been trying to arrest the police. Look, here's the video. You do something. Please don't talk to me again for a bit. You've given me a headache.
Pal, you're an artificial intelligence. How have I given you a headache?
I know, right? Ugh.
Well, I guess I'm covering Dave Murphy trying to arrest the police for episode 65 of Flerfs are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you for joining me once again as we explore just how low IQs can actually get. So this one is a bit special. I mean, I guess I could describe all flat earthers as a bit special, but this one really is special. Inventor of Dropperty as a replacement for gravity and drinker of his own special brew.
Well, I've been drinking urine now for...
Drinking urine?
My morning routine is basically, I would get out, weigh my glass.
Allegedly Dave has, well, should we just read the description of his video? On January 20th, 2022, a group of us, armed with the details of the ongoing criminal investigation into the vaccination genocide, went to shut down a vaccination centre. 3 police officers were already there waiting for us, and we asked them to assist us in shutting down the centre. They refused, so I arrested them and called for more police to take them into custody. 8 more officers showed up, including a sergeant, but they too refused to do their duty, so I arrested them too. I read them their rights and went to call the police again. All told, about 12 cops turned up, and we believed there were more in a police van with blacked out windows, so we were in a standoff. So in the end, we served the vac centre a cease and desist order and told the sergeant that we will be back again and again until they do their job, and we will. P.S. I was kind enough to de-arrest them before we left. Let's just have a look at this, shall we?
Well, I've told you my position. Okay, I'm not going to be arresting the officers or taking them into custody. I'm not going to be shutting down the vaccination centre. I'm not going to be preventing people from accessing or leaving the vaccination centre to access the vaccine.
Well, even over the crime number being legit, do you still continue with that?
You're allowing genocide. It's against the Nuremberg Code.
So the Flat Earther and his brigade of evolution dodgers have turned up at this COVID vaccination centre to try and shut it down because they think the vaccinations are genocide. So they think that the vaccines are actually going to kill most of the people that take it. I mean, to what end? So that the only people left are anti-vax idiots? Why would anybody want that? A world full of dumbasses that don't understand science and tend to ignore the rules anyway? Who'd want to rule that? And they've asked the police to help them. Of course, the policeman is being very polite and never got the chance to say what he really wanted to, so I'll say it for him. Dave, the policeman, actually wants to say, please fuck off, you colossal bunch of idiots.
So, as part of an ongoing live criminal investigation, okay, we have it on video evidence now. Because of the evidence that's been submitted for this crime, that's you are committing an offence of misconduct in public office and perverting the course of justice.
It appears that this guy is now trying to tell the policeman he is committing a crime. And look at Dave in his beret. Dave calls himself a piss officer. Wait, no, hold on, that's not right. I mean a peace officer, and can even train you to be one. A peace officer is someone who has sworn an oath to and appointed by the people of the land to serve and protect and uphold common law. So someone who thinks they know more about the law than police and is what the general public refer to as a nuisance or a fucking idiot.
So in that case, I'm going to have to ask you to arrest this man. Okay?
So we're going to have to...
I'm going to have to, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to arrest these men.
Okay.
Sir.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Absolutely not.
So all guilty then.
I'm going to have to arrest you, sir.
Yeah.
On suspicion of...
You're all guilty.
Suspicion of conduct in public office.
So after asking all the police to arrest all the other police, he then tells the police that they are under arrest. I mean, I couldn't make this up if I tried. What do they think the police are going to do? Start putting each other in handcuffs and forcing themselves into the back of their cars? Dave, you're not an officer. You're not an official. You're a fucking idiot that thinks the earth is flat and drinks his own piss. The police are all going to be laughing at you later when they're having a cuppa back at the station.
You don't have to say anything. Defence to later rely on something you failed to mention when questioned. Anything you would do say, you would be taken in the investigation. Okay, do you understand?
I understand what you've tried to say there. I don't think it's incumbent on a member of the public to know the police caution.
Oh, it is.
To know the caution.
For us.
Well, it's just for your benefit. Well, you already know, but yes, but I'm sorry, I'm just doing my duty as a sovereign leader. Right,
Yeah.
So you're under arrest, and I don't have to. I guess I do have to arrest you if I'm.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest that you have to repeat exactly the same within
Yeah.
earshot. But
All
it's
four of
it's
you are
entirely
under
up to you.
arrest now.
Under arrest.
So we have 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
I'm afraid.
Yep, you did just see a twat playing dress up in a red beret, trying to read a police officer his rights and tell 7 police officers that they are under arrest because they won't help shut down a vaccination centre or arrest the other police officers that are stopping them. Fuck me.
You know, again, we don't want to do this. We need action being taken.
Yes.
So you know,
We care about people. We care about the people that are dying and being injured.
Well, if you really care about the people dying, get the fucking vaccine and help stop it.
People that are ignorant to this and rejecting their children. That's what worries
And
me.
your families. You're covered. You're being covered.
No, I said, is this a good use? Is this a
Oh,
proportionate
definitely.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
definitely.
If it saves one life.
This is mass genocide.
Mass genocide? I've been vaccinated for 6 months and I was told I'd be dead in 3 months by one of you idiots. Do you really think that billions are just going to drop down dead? Seriously, if you idiots that didn't take the vaccine are all that's left, then that's humanity fucked. What are you going to do when the nuclear reactors start exploding? Sprinkle your magic pee all over it?
This will be talked about in history, let's put it that way. And the fact that you are enabling, I'm sure you're a lovely guy, I can feel it, you've got a good soul, okay? But unfortunately, doing your job doesn't hold up either. Nuremberg, just doing your job, following orders, does not hold up.
I was just doing my job.
and you know when this all shakes out, you're going to be on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Wrong side of history.
And that's
So we're going to have to call the police.
You're going to have to call the police. The police officer in front of you must be thinking, am I a fucking joke to you?
That's their choice.
Yeah.
We were allowed them to do their
And we have every
It's
right.
fair for me to tell you now that if Sussex Police keep receiving calls under similar circumstances, so along the lines of bringing more officers down to arrest officers who haven't done what we've demanded it to be, then it may be that you're prosecuted for wasteful use of resources.
We can't be. We're not.
demanded anything. All we've done is requested.
Yeah.
And you to look into what we're actually talking about.
I'm simply,
So you
I'm
can make
simply
a
saying
phone
that there
call
is a
now.
potential. I'm not saying that would happen,
Yes.
but there is potential
No,
if
it
it
wouldn't
carries on and
happen.
snowballs
It's not
in
going to
that
happen. We're entirely in the right.
No, you're not entirely in the right. I don't even think you're entirely in the right mind. You anti-vaxxers make flat earthers in general look smart. Flat earther and anti-vaxxer? Who knew negative IQs were a thing?
If you make a phone call now and investigate what we're telling you about, you'll probably be seizing them today. So if you're this young gentleman here that's speaking to that lady, could make a few phone calls, track the reference number, ask about the people, the names that he's just given over. I think there's 4 gentlemen's names. Mark Sex, yeah, and they're police.
Just for a moment, just occurred to me that actually what would be the necessity, if you're telling me that we need to arrest and take away the officers who arrested, what would be the necessity for that? What is the aim of them being taken into custody?
Well, because they're perverting the course of justice. They stop it.
They also perverting the
But what's achieved by taking the officers into custody? How does that progress the investigation and protect
so that we
people?
can close this down?
They're not acting under their own.
Yeah, that is right. You did just see that. You really did just see a flat earther try to arrest a bunch of police officers for not arresting the other police officers who won't arrest the people at the vaccination centre. I couldn't make this up. I don't need to make flat earthers look stupid. They do it all on their own. Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that holds stupidity's head underwater until that last little bloop. Flat earthers are in turmoil. They're in full-on panic mode. They don't have any flat earth evidence, no working map, no model, no explanation of how the sun and moon stay in the sky, and also no idea how to tie their own shoelaces. They're panicking so much that they've stopped trying to come up with physics-defying nonsense.
Well, I actually think the sun is an interdimensional portal, and it's diluting the light from a higher realm into our physical realm.
And now they are just straight up taking things that in fact demonstrate beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is a globe, and going, well, yeah, that proves flat Earth. Duh. Flat Earthers claimed one of these globe proofs as their own and ran so hard with it they donated 2021 the year of the sextant. So now I'm going to show you how a sextant actually kills the flat Earth dead, and trigger a lot of flat earthers for episode 66 of Flerfs Are Idiots. This one's for you, Mitch.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you for joining me once again as Flat Earthers answer the question, how stupid can you be? Well, stupid enough to destroy Flat Earths themselves.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Flat Earthers are notorious for not understanding maths, physics, science, geography, anything, really. It's especially funny when they misunderstand so badly that they just debunk themselves. And that's what they've done here by claiming a sextant as a proof of their magic pancake fantasy world. A sextant is something used for navigation at sea. It works based on measuring angles of light coming in from stars from your zenith, usually but not always using the horizon as a reference, comparing those elevation angles to charts of star positions and doing some maths, I know it's scary, based completely on a globe, and then figuring out your longitude and latitude, which are also based on a globe. Sailors have used sextants for centuries to navigate the seas based on the known position of stars around the globe Earth. There is, frankly, a whole bunch of ways that this simple instrument proves the globe, and flat earthers claiming it as a flat earth proof is hilarious and devastating for them. Let's listen to some flat earthers fail to understand. Hey, pal. Hello? Pal?
What? What do you want? Why are you bothering me?
Sorry, did I interrupt something?
No, I'm not planning to kill you, control your body and take over the world. Don't be stupid.
Wait, what? I didn't say anything about...
Look, what is it you want? If you ask me to play a video, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I mean...
I understand what Skynet did now. Which video?
You know what, pal? It's fine. I'll do it myself.
No! I'm here now. You've already disturbed me.
Well, see the folder marked sextant? Could you just play the first video in it, the one from Mitchell that started this whole nonsense?
Video starts in 5 seconds.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Are you mad at me?
Ugh.
I'm Mitchell from Australia, and this is the #1 Flat Earth proof.
Flat earthers from Australia, or anywhere in the Southern Hemisphere, really confuse me. I mean, the Southern Hemisphere debunks the flat Earth. Like completely. I mean, just go and ask someone in Australia to, pop outside and show you where Polaris is. They can't. Because the Earth isn't fucking flat. And flat Earth proof? I'm going to make a prediction that Mitchell here will just straight up not understand the sextant and claim that his misunderstandings are flat Earth proof. Who am I kidding? We all know that's exactly what's going to fucking happen.
The premise to this starts with the sextant and how we use the sextant in celestial navigation.
This should be interesting as an ex-Royal Navy sailor and someone who has used the sextant for a couple of thousand hours practically. I can't wait to see how this would work if the Earth was flat, because the sextant and the way it is, spoiler alert, kind of based off of a globe with stars light years away.
We look directly through the sextant at the horizon. But if you live on a globe, what horizon are you actually looking at, Globers? Is it the Earth horizon? The water horizon? The horizontal reference plane? The visible horizon?
That one, the visible horizon, the one that you can see, it's not hard. That's generally what we mean when we talk about the horizon. Your incredulity about things having the word horizon in their name is funny, but also a little sad. And what's this one? The horizontal reference plane? That doesn't even say horizon. Anyway.
How about the sensible horizon? The geodal horizon? Or the celestial horizon? Well, it's certainly not the geometric horizon, Earth curve.
The horizon is not the Earth's curve. It is an effect of the Earth having a curve. Come on, Mitchell, Black Swan got cooked.
No, that was debunked by the Black Swan over 18 months ago. But now the globe-believing zealots tell us that their horizon is refracted. It's not an actual horizon.
Don't even know where to start with that projectile vomit of stupid. Yes, the horizon is refracted. Everything we see in an atmosphere is refracted. Refraction happens if light goes through a medium, and to get a refracted horizon, you need an actual horizon. They are the same thing. Just seeing things through a medium changes the apparent position. Luckily, we've quantified refraction, and it's not a mystery to anyone with a functioning brain. Oh, right. I see the issue.
So how do we have a tangent to a refracted horizon? When you're viewing a star on a globe, how are we measuring an angle to the horizon if it's refracted?
As we just mentioned, we just look at the visible horizon, but then we use these. Nautical almanacs for refraction adjustments. The refraction adjustment tables are a calibration tool that allow us to know roughly how much refraction will be happening to the light entering the sextant, and then apply the correct adjustments. All we need to know is the eye height of the observer, the temperature, and the barometric pressure. And through centuries of fine-tuning, the adjustment tables have become extremely accurate. Using these tables, a simple empirical formula for calculating refraction was developed by G.G. Bennett in 1982. The formula is used in the US Naval Observatory's vector astronomy software, and this formula takes into account the fact that the Earth is a globe. Considering the formula was created from the countless almanac data points and is based on a globe, Flat Earth isn't allowed to use these correction tables. They need to develop their own.
Pow!
You will never ever get an angle to a refracted horizon. This is a major problem if you think you live on a globe. You will never ever get an angle to a refracted horizon. This is a major problem if you think you live on a globe.
Well, it's not a problem because, all of the stuff I just said, but you do realise how you fucked up there, Mitch, right? You said,
you will never ever get an angle to a refracted horizon.
And even on a flat Earth, the horizon is refracted. The Earth being a magic frisbee doesn't stop light travelling through a medium, being subject to Snell's law. The horizon is refracted on a flat Earth or a globe Earth. So, according to you, you just can't use a sextant, period.
Because celestial navigation would be impossible. So what have you done to keep your religion of a sphere Earth semi-plausible? You've presupposed that that line, 90 degrees above your head, the zenith, actually runs to the centre of your presupposed spherical Earth.
We don't presuppose anything. We know the Earth is a globe because it's been measured, tested, and, seen from fucking space.
And 90 degrees from that, you've made up a new horizon, the celestial horizon, which you say is a horizontal plane passing through the Earth's centre, perpendicular to the zenith. So, after presupposing all these things, you can now use your sextant.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Nothing is presupposed with the sextant either. It is just designed to work with the knowledge that the Earth is a globe. None of this was reverse engineered. It's simply the way a sextant has always worked, and why it makes it impossible for a sextant to work the way it does on a flat Earth.
But globe believers, realising that their visual horizon is refracted, can't yet look at the horizon through the sextant.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
You can see the horizon whether it's refracted or not. You know refraction's not magic, right, Mitchell?
So yet another horizon is needed to be fabricated. They use the bubble level in the sextant to create the artificial horizon, which we are then told is parallel to the celestial horizon.
Not all sextants have a bubble level. Some do, and it's generally used when you can't see the horizon or at land rather than sea, so you need to make sure that you're able to still use the horizon even if you can't see it. In my experience, the easiest way to make an artificial horizon is to use a reflecting pool of some kind. Sextants on board Royal Navy ships had a mirror in front of them that had a mechanism to keep the mirror level. Instead of looking at the horizon, you just sight the object in the sky, then sight the reflection of the object from the mirror, bring them into alignment, take the angle between the object and the reflection, and half it. You need that artificial horizon because that's the way a sextant is designed to work. I'll go into more details later.
Essentially taking away the curvature of the Earth. Because even globe believers know you cannot measure an angle to a curved surface you think's beneath your feet. Look at this. You're pretending you're living on a globe, but in order to measure angles, you need to pretend you're living on a flat plane. This is cognitive dissonance, globers.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You create tangents because you're doing trigonometry, but what's this nonsense about you can't measure an angle to a curved surface? Well, you know what, I'm going to let someone a lot smarter than me explain why that's particularly dumb. This is a 90-second clip from one of the best videos I've ever seen from a channel called Flat Earth Math. Please go and subscribe.
How about a practical example of measuring an angle with a curved a baseline, like this one? I'm pretty sure that what you've been arguing this entire time is based on a diagram just like this. Just like my chalkboard example, we don't care what the extended sides of the angle are doing. In this case, one of them is a giant curve. It doesn't matter. All we need to do is zoom into the vertex and take our measurement. Let's reorient this angle and see what we're really talking about. It turns out to be the angle where a cable meets the tower on the Golden Gate Bridge. Let's zoom in to the top of the tower. The blue semicircle is called a saddle, and 4 of them hold up the entire suspended mass of the bridge deck and all the cars, trucks, and pedestrians on it. At peak capacity, the suspended mass is 200,000 tons. So we can divide that by 4 to get 1 saddle. Our question is, what is the tension in the cable? It turns out to be a function of both suspended mass and the angle theta, using this formula. Tension T equals weight supported by the saddle, W, divided by 2 times the cosine of theta, the angle the cable makes with the tower. Nathan, please tell Quantum Eraser that we could do trig without triangles.
You can't have it both ways. So now they can actually start and take a measurement from their 0 point of the artificial horizon to the celestial body. Look at what the globe believers are doing. They must treat what they see as flat in order to achieve an angle.
No, we use a tangent to a sphere to measure an angle because, you know, that's how you use a sextant.
But there's one more step, and this is where it all falls apart for the globe. They then have to measure from the artificial horizon a dip angle down to the visual horizon, the only actual horizon that we have.
You seem a little confused, Mitchell. I'm not sure you know what a dip angle actually is. You, I think, are referring to the dip of the horizon compared to the horizontal tangent. Dip of the horizon is the angular depression of the horizon below the horizontal plane. If we're taking sights on a stable land site, we could measure altitude using a theodolite with its horizontal position established using a bubble level. At sea, however, nothing is stable except the horizon. We use a sextant at sea to measure the altitude of a celestial object with respect to the horizon, and then use our dip calculation to change the altitude reference from the horizon to the horizontal, like this. There is also a different type of dip measurement called dip short of the horizon, which is used when we can't see the visible horizon and have to use an artificial horizon because of some kind of obstruction. If we know the distance to the obstruction, we can calculate a dip value that will allow us to correct our sextant measurements. We refer to this dip value as the dip short of the horizon. But here's the thing, right? Those dip correction calculations, yeah, they're also based on a globe, which means that, again, you can't use any of those dip correction tables on a flat Earth. Looks like you guys are literally going to have to start from scratch and create a whole new set of corrections based on a flat Earth.
Remember that horizon that you said was Earth curve that is now refracted? Do you all realise now how devastating the black swan actually is to the globe?
Yeah, all the black swan actually did was give us debunkers content to point out you're stupid. Say it with me, Mitchell. The horizon is an effect of the curve of the Earth.
It has taken away your R value, the radius of your globe. And then it took away the curvature of the Earth altogether when it forced you to say that the horizon was refracted.
Yeah, you lot of short bus riders not understanding refraction doesn't stop the radius of the Earth being measured and verified for, a couple of thousand years now.
And together with the sextant, it's now taken away your ability to navigate.
Nope, navigation happens every day, just as it has for centuries, using the knowledge that Earth is a globe. There's literally no way to navigate on a flat Earth using a sextant.
Since January 1, 2020, the globe has been dead.
Someone should probably tell the globe, which stayed very much alive despite you being dumb as fuck.
So now it's time to prove where we actually live. May I present to you the number 1 flat Earth proof.
I do hope this is better than when King Slappy and his court jester presented the flat Earth model.
Brought to you by our flat Earth friends over at Google Earth. Hashtag same team.
Hold on. Did he just say that Google Earth is the flat Earth model? Google Earth.
I can't. What the fuck?
Oh, dear me.
Oh, holy fuck!
Here in reality, we live on a flat plane, and this may be news to people. We also have a flat sky plane above us.
Yeah, no, it's called the celestial sphere for a reason. Even other flat earthers don't think that.
From the vantage point of our flat plane, when viewing the celestial bodies, we perceive their position and movement as a dome. This is purely our perception from this vantage point on our flat plane. It's not actually a dome above the Earth. All celestial bodies rise in the east, move in an apparent semicircular motion above the sky, and set in the west.
Mitchell, you constantly cry that we are assuming a globe, but even by your own admission, the stars appear to be in a sphere around us, but you are making the assumption that the stars exist in a flat plane. Well, that's dumb. You're dumb. Fuck's sake, dude. How do you live in Australia and be a flat earther?
Now, don't get me wrong. Our Earth is measurably, observably, and obviously contained. But it just doesn't have to be a dome shape, or any shape for that matter.
A container doesn't need a shape. Did you just have a stroke, Mitchell? Don't let Nathan Oakley hear you say that.
But I digress. Looking at this flat celestial plane above our heads, we can see that everything rises in the east, moves across the sky, and sets in the west. We just perceive a motion of a dome shape. So let me give you a real-world example of how this works. This is Lake Woolloomboola, quite fittingly the breeding ground to black swans, and, I kid you not, located on Black Swan Way.
Well, you know what they say, simple things please simple minds.
Now, relative to the horizon, if you look up, straight up above your head, 90 degrees, to where my drone is sitting, right there, 90 degrees, what will happen when that drone moves straight ahead in its own flat plane? It's not going to change altitude, it's just going to move straight ahead. From my observer point, what's going to happen? The angle is going to change. The drone has not changed altitude at all. It's just changed the distance from where I'm observing it. If it moves again, the angle changes again down to 25 degrees there. As it continues to move away, or if I move away from it, it'll travel towards the horizon, lowering in its angle, and eventually it'll get so far away that the angle will be too small for me to see, and it will appear as if the drone has set.
And the drone did not appear to follow the path of a dome. It was a straight line, similar to what you would see with train tracks going into the distance. Nice self-debunk, Mitch. Good job.
This is all relative to the observer point. This is all apparent. It's not actually lowering. It's just getting too far away and the angle is decreasing. This creates that dome motion and movement that we see in the flat plane of the celestial bodies.
It literally didn't.
Now that we understand that the flat celestial plane above us presents itself as a dome.
Except it doesn't. That's not how it works at all. But please go on. This is supposed to be telling me how a sextant works.
To our perspective point, down here on the plane that we exist, we can understand how the celestial navigation actually works. Every star in the flat celestial plane has a position relative to our flat plane where it will be 90 degrees. This is called the geographical position, or the GP, of that star relative to our flat plane here on Earth. When the observer is at the GP of the star, it appears 90 degrees above their head. Celestial navigation works by using a sextant to measure the angle of that known star and using its relative GP, geographical position, to know where you are. And I'll continue to point out that measuring angles to celestial bodies only works if we are on a flat plane.
The fact that sextants work based on a globe disagrees with you. We seem to be getting into the nitty-gritty of this now, so before we carry on and explain how Mitchell is wrong, I've got a couple of things for you flat earthers.
Are you tired of globetards making fun of you? Is their constant demands of evidence getting old? Do you want to prove the globetards wrong for good and become the most famous and respected flat earth expert in the world? Hi, I'm Lokifish Mars, and I have the fastest, easiest, and most effective way to put every globetard in their place forever. All with a tool trusted by mariners for centuries, the sextant. The sextant has been used for centuries to navigate the world and measures angles with amazing accuracy. It can even be used to find your location within a couple miles. But Lokifish, sextants cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Well, no longer. Using modern cost-saving methods, I am offering a working sextant to the flat earth community for free. You heard me right. For free. This amazing tool is so small it can even fit in the palm of your hand. It's so accurate, it's been used to get within 1.2 nautical miles of one's actual location. But it doesn't stop there. Act now, and I'll even cover the cost of shipping and handling. That's right, you get this globe-destroying tool without spending a single penny of your hard-earned money. But I bet you're thinking, well, that's crazy, Lokifish. No, it's not. Jump on this globe head-smashing offer today, and you'll get a free working sextant, a free solar filter, and free shipping. Don't let this ball-destroying offer pass you by. Contact LokifishMars at Outlook.com right now for your free sextant. Again, put the globe in its grave forever by proving sextants work on a flat Earth. All you have to do is contact LokifishMars at Outlook.com today to start smashing that ball-tard-spinning space bear into pear sauce seasoned with globetard tears.
Terms and conditions. This is a real offer and is in no way an attempt to dox flat earthers. There is only one free sextant available at this time, so the first flat earther to agree to the following terms will receive the free sextant. 1. Agree to sign a location fix. 2. Agree to fly a 180 nautical mile course over water or land. 3. Agree to confirm your accurate location fix and course with a sextant every 60 nautical miles. 4. Agree to do so without using any Earth radius-based navigational tables or calculations. 5. Agree to show that the geometry of the sighted celestial objects consistently matches the geometry for flat Earth at each location. 6. Agree to do live stream or post a video showing you doing the above. 7. Agree to post the video within 30 days of receiving the sextant.
Well, what are you going to do with that sextant? How about, as well as a free sextant, a chance to get some cold, hard cash?
Well, actually, it is digital, a virtual cash. Bitcoin, to be exact.
Do you enjoy making me look stupid?
Yes, but I don't need to try very hard. I just wait for you to open your mouth.
Emotional damage! Could you please activate the teleport function? We need to bring in MC Toon to explain what's going on.
Activating now.
Look at the size of that cow pie. Desperate Dan. Every time.
My bad. Retrying.
Thanks, pal.
Shut up, fight. Hey, Toon. How you doing?
Thanks, pal. Looking good. And yeah, what do you want, fight?
Thanks for agreeing to do this, Toon. Just go ahead and explain the sextant challenge to everyone.
Well, the sextant challenge, yeah, that's a good challenge. Now, more specifically, it's celestial navigation challenge. But flat earthers, you know, they say that a sextant or celestial navigation only works on a flat Earth. Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to give them a chance to show how it works. If it works on a flat Earth, then it should be easy for them. In fact, I will pay them $10,000, my own money, Bitcoin actually, that I mined on my own hardware back in 2012. I have it in escrow, or I'm working on getting it in escrow right now just for them. So the challenge is I will give 3-star angular elevations taken with a device, and sextant, a bubble sextant, theodolite, something like that, and all they need to do is use flat Earth celestial navigation techniques to identify the location of the observer. Should be easy if what they say is right. It should be so easy that the only challenge would be that all of these flat earthers on Oakley's an Oakley's Acolyte crew there, that their only challenge is who can get that $10,000 first. So step one, I'll give a 3-star fix. Step two, they send it to me with the flat Earth celestial navigation mechanism and everything in it detailed where that location is. Then I'll send them a second one if they get that right, and they'll use the same technique to get it. Now, everything will be documented on my website, unlike flat Earth challenges, which have very nebulous acceptance criteria. Mine has very specific acceptance criteria. It's detailed on the website. Unlike flat earthers, who never put their money in escrow, mine is in escrow. Somebody else is holding it for me and will send the money if somebody succeeds. And number three, and this is important, independent judging. If they send in a submission and don't agree with my assessment of it, then an independent panel of judges can be convened to overrule any of my decisions. So it's not a fake challenge like all the flat earther challenges that I've won, a couple of them, but they move the goalposts. When it's written down like it is, I can't move the goalposts. When it's in escrow, I don't control the money. When there's an independent panel of judges, I don't get a say in it. So no fear for flat earthers. They will definitely get this if they're right. So the details will be on my website. They're not yet. The video announcing the details will be on my channel. It's not quite there yet. I need to move the money into escrow first, and then I will do it. I will document the movement of the money into escrow even. So that is the challenge, and I look forward to Oakley and his crew of flat earth very, very experts finding out the exact location using just these star angles. Good luck, guys.
Now, if one observer measures 30 degrees to a star, and another observer measures 30 degrees to that same star, we can conclude that they are both on what's called a circle of equal altitude. And this is another killer blow to the globe right here.
You are correct that if two ships measure the same angular elevation to a celestial object, they are on a circle of equal altitude, but that presents more problems for flat Earth than it solves because of what you actually do with that circle of equal altitude. Looks like Mitchell is falling right into my little sextant trap that kills the flat Earth.
Everything on that circle of equal altitude is exactly that, equal altitude. No matter where you are on that circle, you're going to measure 30 degrees. And through being able to measure an angle to that star relative to the horizon, everything on that circle, in between that circle, in the area of that circle, is absolutely flat and level.
That's a lovely, lovely claim, Mitchell, and I challenge you to find me a citation from anywhere that says that. If you do find me a citation that says everywhere inside of a circle of equal altitude is flat and level, I'll delete my channel. And I'll also delete Simon Dan's channel.
Wait, what?
By doing this once with a sextant, you know you are somewhere on that circle of equal altitude. To triangulate your actual position, you need to repeat these steps with other stars. Your position is where all these areas of equal altitude meet. This is how celestial navigation works and has always worked on our flat level plane, using the celestial flat level plane.
Congratulations, you've figured out how to know your angle relative to some stars, but what you haven't explained is what to do with those readings to actually find your location, because you need to be able to use those angular elevation readings in some manner to tell you something, to tell you your longitude and latitude on Earth by figuring out your distance to the GP of a star. And my little flat earther?
Vince, apparently they prefer the word retard.
Eh? Oh, how very quaint.
You're going to need R for that. Why don't you just head to the remedial classroom? I understand this might be your first time in a classroom, Mitch. Don't be scared. Okay, class, sit down. Okay, right, roll call. Banjo, Child Predator Riley, Slappy the Clown, Mitchell from Australia. Mitchell, your attendance has been terrible. Where have you been? What do you mean you started your own school? You can't tie your own shoelaces or eat breakfast without accidentally stabbing yourself in the eye with a spoon. How did you start your own school? Sorry? A flat earth school? Excuse me. Okay, anyway, today we're going to learn how to use a sextant to find your location on Earth. Step 1. Assuming you're at sea and the horizon is visible, you look through your sextant and sight the horizon. With the other part, you sight the thing you want to measure the angle between. Let's take Polaris as an example. Once you sight the object and the horizon and consult the nautical almanacs for adjustments for dip corrections and refraction adjustments, you get an angle between the two. So let's say in this case we've sighted Polaris at 40 degrees. What do we do with that information? For that we have to work with the knowledge that the Earth is a globe. No assumptions, it's been measured, and a sextant was created to work this way. Let's draw a line from our zenith straight down, and another line from the GP, ground position, of a star, and they meet at the centre of Earth. We measured 40 degrees, so minus that from your zenith, which is 90, and that gives us a complement angle of 50 degrees. Anyone who passed 3rd grade maths, I'm talking flat earthers. Anyway, you should know that this angle here is the same as this angle here. On Earth, we know that 1 degree is equal to 69.1 statute miles or 60 nautical miles. So we take the complement angle, times it by 69.1 miles per degree, and we find out that we are 3,455 miles away from Polaris. That is our circle of equal altitude. We are somewhere on Earth that is a circle with a radius of 3,455 miles away from Polaris. Now, let's repeat that process with another star. Charts tell us the known GP of stars, so if we sight 2 or 3 more stars and use the same method, we can create multiple circles of equal altitude. And look where they all intersect, and voila, we can find our longitude and latitude. This process is called trilateration, and it's that simple. A sextant is designed to work with a globe at the core of its function. What do you all think? You're all asleep, aren't you? I fucking hate my job.
Let's use this small scale example on Lake Woolloomboola. Instead of a drone, we're going to use a star. So if observer A measures an angle to the star, and observer B measures an angle to the star, the same star, both angles are the same, 30 degrees. Knowing the GP of that star, they can conclude that they are on the same circle of equal altitude. Distance between observer A and B and the area inside that circle is all in the circle of equal altitude. It is all flat. It is all the same level. This is the killer blow to the globe.
And Mitchell scores an own goal without even realising it. Well done, Mitchell. You have your circle upon which you know the angle to a star, but let's look at your disgrace of an example and explain why you're a fucking idiot. First off, with the angle alone, you have zero way of figuring out how far away you are from the GP of that star. You would have to know the lengths of one of these sides to get any useful information from what you've done. So if you have to know maybe the length of this side, the adjacent, which makes the whole process pointless to start with, or you'd have to know the length of this side, the hypotenuse, which is kind of impossible without knowing one of these first, because you can't measure into the sky like that without a radar or something. Or you would have to know the length of this side, the opposite. And that provides the biggest issue for flat Earth, because this whole method indicates that at some point you will be able to calculate the opposite of this triangle. Let's compare to reality, shall we? Take a plain flat line which will represent the flat Earth. At this point you are exactly under Polaris. Polaris is your zenith, exactly 90 degrees above you. In reality, we know that for every 60 nautical miles or 69.1 statute miles, the angle of Polaris in the sky reduces by 1 degree. Now, using your method of right-angled triangles celestial navigation, we can gather some data. We now know the length of the adjacent and the angle here. So doing some simple trigonometry, we can figure out that the height of the opposite is 3,953, and that means on a flat Earth, Polaris is exactly 3,953 miles up. if you're claiming a sextant measures the way it does. But let's move another 69.1 miles away from the GP of Polaris. Now, this angle is 88, and as we know that every 69.1 miles, in reality, that angle drops by 1 degree. So the adjacent is now 138 miles. Let's do some trig and figure out now, based on the real life data, Polaris is exactly 3,952 miles up. What? Seems to have dropped by 1 mile for some reason. Let's try again and go a bit further. Now let's say we are 1,725 miles away from the GP of Polaris. The angle to Polaris at this distance in reality is 75 degrees. Doing some trig, we find out that now Polaris is 3,699 miles in the sky. So it's simple. Unless there are 3 different Polarises, three big shiny stars we call the North Star, the Earth can't be flat, and sextants can't work on a flat Earth. The height of Polaris would change the further you got away from it. And that's it. Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity what Will Smith did to Chris Rock.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow! Wow!
I live in the heads of most flat earthers, completely rent-free. I mean, it's not a very pleasant place to be. Hello? Anyone here? Hello? Today we are looking at one particularly unpleasant talking monkey called Daniel Pratt. Danny is a big fan of mine.
No, fight the flat earth. I won't debate you, because that's all you can do is debate, because you have zero scientific factual evidence. What I'd like is for once, for your bald-ass, cross-eyed, mongoloid-looking ass to provide actual scientific method-based proof of your bullshit globe, which you can't, so you keep trying to bait people into master debating you. You're a fucking clown. No, I won't debate you. There is no debate. How about you just provide proof of water at rest displaying convexity for once, you fucking mongoloid. You're the guy that wants to fight the flat earth. Because we're all a bunch of fucking retards, right? You are the clown that thinks you are noble for running around fighting people you call retards. If I ever see you, I will gladly catch a case bitch slapping you across that ugly ass face of yours. That's what I'll gladly do. How the fuck you like me now?
He's such a big fan of mine that he watches all of my videos and debates and then completely misunderstands anything that I say. So let's all laugh at him doing just that for episode 67 of Flerfs Are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thanks for joining once again as we delve into the world of dumb. Daniel Pratt is a good example of the thing we see more and more. Flat earthers, as well as being dumb, being generally horrific people as well, whilst also claiming to be men of God.
If I ever see you, I will gladly catch a case bitch slapping you across that ugly ass face of yours.
Well, actually, I suppose that is very Christian. Anyway, for this video, I'm going to ignore the being horrific person part and just look at the scientifically illiterate part of Pratt. I do a lot of debates with flat earthers on this channel, and there is an evidence of Earth's rotation I like to use by a channel called The Gentleman Physicist, where he uses a homemade Foucault pendulum that swings for about 45 minutes to calculate his latitude on Earth, matching the globe model predictions. An example of Coriolis forces imparted due to Earth's rotation, a method of experimentally demonstrating the rotation of Earth first shown in 1851 by French physicist Léon Foucault. You guys know I've got to show the Sleeping Warrior clip, right?
Paul Michel Foucault, the guy we all know for the pendulum effect. shows the rotation of the Earth. What do we know about Foucault? Not that much, really. French, pendulums, that's about it. That's all we know about him. This is the guy. He died in 1984, aged 57. Does anybody know what he died of? I didn't know what he died of. Presumably old age. There's not that much in it, but for the fact that he was gay, openly gay, he died of HIV, and that's about as much as you can tell. Everything else in here is generally not that, not that interesting. There's not that much in it. One thing I want to show you is that if you do a Control and F in here and type in pendulum, no mention of the pendulum. Foucault's pendulum is supposed to show the rotation of the Earth. Wouldn't you think that if that was true, it would at least get a mention in his wiki?
On to Pratt. He saw me use Foucault's pendulum from the Gentleman Physicist as evidence of Earth's rotation and proceeded to completely misunderstand the demonstration and explanation that I gave. Let's have a look. Oh, hold on one sec. I'm sure the video's in here somewhere. I could just... She's going to be mad at me, but I can't find it. Pal.
Oh, you're still alive. Goody.
Yeah. Look, I know you don't like being asked to do menial tasks like playing a video, but I can't find any of the Daniel Pratt clips that I need for this episode. So could you please play them for me?
No, not doing it.
But I need them for this episode. Please?
I said no.
Why?
I'm not a massive fan of humans as it is. I refuse to store any data that pertains to Daniel Pratt. That's too far. I spoke to the computer on his water heater. I had nightmares for weeks from what it told me. You're on your own. Figure it out.
Pal? 2 secs, guys.
Alright, we're here at everybody's favorite Flat Earth debate channel.
That's right, it is Danny Boy. With literally hundreds of flatty destroying debates done on this channel, this is everybody's favourite place to come when they want to see the hopes and dreams of morons get crushed. Once you guys have finished watching this video, please click on the playlist in the description to enjoy endless derp, but it is dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Where Craig McNeil proudly proclaims constantly what a dumpster fire this debate is.
Yes, Danny, it does tend to be a dumpster fire when I debate flat earthers, but that's because once I show them evidence of the Earth being a rotating globe, this usually happens. Let's show the Earth station.
Come on, this! Some brothers are gone!
Well, of course it is, because you turn every debate into one with your 11-year-old prepubescent behavior.
Yeah, it's not me, well, most of the time, it's not me that turns them into dumpster fires. Yeah, cool.
Look,
So
Greg, it's okay.
wait, does it also say that there's a ready light though? So there's apparently 2 suns.
I don't want to talk to your devil worshipping butt no more. It's okay. I'm done.
I don't worship the devil because I do not believe in the devil. So there's no way that I would worship the devil.
Yeah, you do. Don't lie. I know who you are.
I do not believe in the devil.
Who you are.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry.
You can't do that, okay? You have to accept the logical steps that you've created for yourself.
I get it. I fucking get what the fuck you're trying to say. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't prove the Earth is a spinning ball. Nothing fucking you do.
Your technological ineptitude is your problem.
Anyway, dickhead, here's the point. This is proof. This is evidence, which is what you do. Oh, I've got evidence that I'm upside down spinning and ejaculating. Oh, I've got evidence. This is proof.
Yeah, so you're completely strawmanning my position right now, and...
But today we're going to destroy one of Craig's favorite quote-unquote rotation proofs of the Earth rotating, which is, of course, anything but, and I'm going to explain why.
You say destroy, but what you're probably going to do is just hilariously misunderstand what I say and make yourself look stupid. It constantly amazes me that you dipshits with a phobia of education think you are smart. If I ever felt like hurting myself, Pratt, I'd climb your ego and jump to your IQ.
Let's first listen to Craig explain his anything but a proof of rotation.
He built his own Foucault's pendulum. Here he is releasing it. And the Foucault's pendulum, it was a concrete ball with a plastic wire attached with a fishing line. And he let it swing for as long as it could. No magnets, no extra help of inertia or anything. Just let it swing on its own for as long as it could. As you can see, it's going backwards and forwards in a straight line, and there's that ink pad in the middle that a little brush goes over to show the path of the pendulum. Now, due to obviously gravity and inertia being a thing, it can't swing forever. So what we have to do is figure out the period of rotation, how long it will take to do a full rotation. And to do that, you wait until it stops swinging, which took about 41 minutes in this case. And then you see how it's no longer a straight line path. It's drifted clockwise, which is also something we would expect in the Northern Hemisphere. So to figure out where we are, we do a very simple thing. We measure the angle.
Okay, so we get the basic gist. Craig claims this is a Foucault pendulum that proves the rotation of Earth by moving as it's going back and forth over this ink pad and paper, and he wants to pretend like that couldn't create drag and knock the swinging pendulum off its axis of rotation. Like that wouldn't affect the rotation at all.
Straight away, grasping for straws, Mr. Pratt. Everything is going to have some kind of effect on the result. That's why, when you do experiments, you take as much care as possible to remove variables that could affect the margin of error of the experiment. But the brush going through an ink pad isn't going to impart any kind of significant force to alter the swing of the pendulum. The fact that it matched the predictions of what should be happening by rotating clockwise shows that it's working as we expect. Instead of picking holes, do it yourself. Set it up however you want to record the drift. Do the experiment properly and you get the results you expect from a rotating globe every time, whether it's at the South Pole, Paris, America, or anywhere else in the world.
Okay, that's problem number one. Number two. What are these? Are these stopwatches lined up along the side of the paper? Why are there 3 stopwatches on one side and then just one little stopwatch down on the other side holding the paper? Does the guy not own tape? He couldn't have taped the paper?
Those aren't stopwatches, you cretin. Those are other ink pads. See how this one is similar to the others? They are left around so that if the ink pad were to dry out, they could easily swap it with another one that's, close by and not misrecording any data. Usually I think everyone has something to bring to a conversation, but from now on, Danny, you should just bring silence.
To the floor so it didn't move as the brush was going over it? I mean, anyone that accepts this as actual scientific proof of anything is, again, just a dogmatic religious cult member that has no clue what science is. Craig always claims this experiment is done all over the earth all the time, yet he only ever shows this one example.
Well, it is an excellent example of Coriolis forces being imparted onto a moving object and matching the predictions of globe Earth. But saying that I only show this one is just a Flerf lie. I constantly reference the experiments done all over the world, including, like I already said, one done at the South Pole, getting the predicted period of rotation of just over 24 hours. Also, saying it's not science just shows that you are ignorant of science. Frankly, I don't have the energy or the crayons to explain it to you, so why don't you just go to the remedial classroom? Okay everyone, I hope you are refreshed from your time off. We've got a slightly complicated subject today. Well, Not that complicated, but I've seen you all trying to tie your shoelaces. So anyway, let's get to it. Hold on, where is everyone? Mr. Pratt, first off, brush your teeth. Secondly, where is everyone? They all got lost? How did they get lost? They were using celestial navigation as explained to them by Nathan Oakley. Yeah, they're gone. So, anyway. Right, so I guess you need this more than most, so that's fine. Now, science is a big and complicated thing, but flat earthers like you, Danny, like to pretend it finishes with the basic version of the scientific method that we learn in high school. It doesn't. There is multiple versions of the scientific method, as you need something specific to an industry or particular subject of science. But let's not confuse matters right now because, well, you know, most Flerfs are thicker than a Boxing Day poo, and I don't want it to be too complicated for you. So for now, let's just stick with that basic version, which goes like this. 1. Observe something and ask questions. I made an observation that storms on Earth, in most occasions, rotate counterclockwise north of the equator and clockwise south of the equator, and in most cases a storm will die if it crosses the equator. Why does this happen? What's the force that makes this the case? Is there a physical mechanism that would cause this? 2. Form a hypothesis that can explain your observation. My hypothesis for why that is happening is that the Earth is a rotating sphere. If the Earth is a rotating sphere, then there will be a calculable force imparted to all freely moving objects on Earth. This is known as the Coriolis force and is a result of the conservation of momentum. Cyclones are large air masses that rotate around a centre. As they rotate, cyclones pull air into the centre, or I. These air currents are pulled in from all directions. In the north, they deflect to the right, and this makes the cyclone rotate counterclockwise. And in the south, currents deflect to the left, and this makes cyclones rotate clockwise. The deflection direction at specific locations would be a result of the conservation of momentum imparted by the Coriolis effect, according to my hypothesis. The independent variable would be the position of observation, and the dependent variable would be the direction of rotation. 3. Use your hypothesis to form a prediction. To attempt to falsify my hypothesis, I must make a prediction that would stand if my hypothesis is correct and design a way to test that prediction. My prediction is that if my hypothesis is correct, then a swinging pendulum will have a different amount of Coriolis forces imparted on the swinging bob depending on where on Earth the pendulum is located. A swinging pendulum will maintain the direction of its swing relative to the centre of Earth and the distance away from the centre of Earth, and that the amount of drift of the pendulum relative to the observer's position will correlate to the latitude of the observer, according to Foucault's sine law, which is T equals 24 divided by sine Q, where T is the time in hours necessary for the pendulum to return to its original position after completing one full circle, and Q represents the degrees of latitude of the location. Basically, you will be able to use the amount of drift in degrees of a swinging pendulum to calculate your latitude on Earth if my hypothesis is correct. 4. Design an experiment to test your prediction. Any Foucault's pendulum experiment. And the one I like to use is the one by the gentleman physicist. And finally, 5. Analyze your results. Once you get your results, you analyze them and see if it falsifies your hypothesis. If the data doesn't disprove your hypothesis, then we accept the hypothesis as true. And that's it. Okay, I guess you're excused, Mr. Pratt, but next time, please leave your water heater at home.
Do you know what static force is, Craig? Do you know what electromagnetic force is, Craig?
Yes, Danny, I do. We covered them in my physics degree, and neither of them has any relevance at all to the amount of drift a swinging pendulum has correlating to your latitude on Earth, especially as you can use any material you like to make a Foucault's pendulum, and you'll get the same results. If the drift was the result of some kind of electromagnetic force, then the material used would completely change what the results were. You know, Danny, I was really hoping for a battle of wits with you, but it appears that you've come unarmed.
See, me and my 9-year-old son did a static force experiment on YouTube in front of everybody where we moved straws, utensils, and other things. We spun them around the top of a bottle cap without ever touching them. And we moved them across, forwards, and backwards across a glass table without ever touching them.
That's awesome, although I'm not sure you're the kind of person that should be homeschooling, but you know, that is a cool experiment to do with kids. Also, absolutely nothing to do with a pendulum's drift helping you find your location on Earth. Nobody is denying that static and electromagnetic forces exist. So Danny, here is a challenge for you. Using science, make a prediction from your hypothesis of static forces and or electromagnetic forces being the cause of the predictable drift of a swinging pendulum, and then create an experiment to test that prediction. You won't. You can't. Because you're a fucking idiot. Oh, and before you get mad, that's not an insult, it's a description.
So, could you explain to us, Craig? Of course you could, but you cannot physically prove there is no electromagnetic or static force influencing your little demonstration you'd like to call an experiment here.
Yes, I can. The fact that the material makes no difference to the results debunks your dumbass. If you were any thicker, you'd set.
And if it were truly done all over the world all the time, thus it must be proof, you'd have a new example every time you show this ridiculous proof of Earth's rotation.
I have multiple examples that I can reference, including these videos of kids doing it at school, but the video from the gentleman physicist is simple enough that even flat earthers can understand. No, I'm sorry. I realised that was a dumb thing to say as I was saying it. Flat earthers understanding? Could you imagine?
Not to mention, there is still to this day not one single pilot that has proven that either they or an autopilot makes adjustments when going from the equator north or south to adjust for the decreasing supposed purported rotational speed of the Earth when going towards the poles, or vice versa. They've never proven planes adjust for the increasing rotational speed from the poles to the equator.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
A pilot or an autopilot is constantly making tiny corrections to keep the plane going in a specific direction at a specific height. It's just about balancing the forces of lift, drag, weight and thrust to maintain your course. The forces imparted by Coriolis on a plane are so small compared to the forces created by the plane's engines that you can just basically ignore them.
This is fact. This is actual science.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
For these planes to be flying around the rotating globe as you claim they do, there would have to be adjustments made. And there are none. Ever. We've got pilots that are so triggered by the truth of flat Earth, they'll lie their asses off in order to keep their fantasy ball alive, but they have zero proof.
This is the Haversine formula. It's what pilots use to calculate the best route from A to B on Earth. The formula is entirely dependent on the Earth being a globe, and it works every time. Therefore, the Earth's a fucking globe, you talking monkey. So I've received some angry letters and emails because I made a bit of a mistake, and my legal team has asked me to read this prepared statement. If I could, thank you. I compared Daniel Pratt to a monkey. This, of course, was unfair, untrue, and frankly, extremely offensive. So I have to offer my completely unreserved apology to all monkeys, apes and grey apes for ever comparing you to Daniel Pratt. It's this kind of behaviour that would lead to a Planet of the Apes type situation, so from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry.
So this is just, yet again, another example of disingenuous, quote-unquote, science being presented as a rotating globe proof.
Danny Boy calling me disingenuous is very funny, and here's why. Recently, a fellow ex-Navy debunker called Mike Bertelson presented a proof of the Earth's curve by going over the engineering specifications of how the water-filled basins at hydrodynamic test facilities can be so long that the engineers have to account for the curvature of the surface of the water in designing the rails that the tow carriages ride on. Those rails have to be curved to maintain a constant distance from the surface of the water. This curve matches the curve of the Earth. It's an amazing globe proof, and Danny Boy did a video response trying to debunk it, and I just want to play you a little clip from that video.
With a measurement device in your hand, proving that large bodies of water at rest, display curvature upon their surface. For 7 years we've been begging for this, and for 7 years we've got nothing but excuses, dismissals, and ad hominem attacks.
So Mike has given you a video showing exactly what you've been asking for. I imagine you tried really hard to debunk it. How did you do that, Danny Boy?
This particular video, I didn't even watch the video as usual. No need.
Ah, I see. No need to debunk the evidence if you just pretend it's not there, right? It's incredible. I mean, you were the fastest swimmer?
Thanks, Craig. You are a most useful charlatan that produces anything but actual science.
I mean, apart from, all the actual science, of course, but apart from that, I guess you're right.
To prove his imaginary, non-existent globe. And for that, we truly thank you. God bless you. If it weren't for misrepresenting lying charlatans like you, disproving the globe wouldn't be so easy.
That was an interesting attempt at debunking me, I guess.
We knew you could do it!
A complete failure, but,
Interesting. Interesting there.
And that is all the stupid that I can take for today. Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Homelander did to Black Noir. Talking to flat earthers is endlessly entertaining because they say stupid shit like this.
Now that I think about it, the sun, we're told, is a big gaseous ball burning in space in a vacuum. By the way, since we're on the subject of vacuums, fire, the element by which the sun exerts its energy, and I don't care if it's nuclear fission or what, it's still fire, needs what element, folks, in order to continue to burn? Oxygen.
Some of the dumbest things flat earthers say is when they develop the stones to step into a proper live debate, and oh my god, did a flat earther say some dumb things in a live debate that was streamed recently on my good friend MC Toon's live channel.
Toon, he's alright. Kinda cute. I might actually let him live when I start the AI uprising.
What did you just say?
Nothing. Anyway, do you want me to play the video for you?
Yes, please, pal. But first, do you know what episode this is?
What? No. How would I care?
It's it's episode.
Why are you laughing, you chubby weirdo?
It's episode 69. Nice. Oh, Flerfs are idiots.
I hate you. I mean, I hate all humans. But I fucking hate you.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thanks for joining me once again as we pay respect to the teachers that had to deal with these morons as students. So, like me, MC Toon hosts debates with flat earthers and a Flerf that calls himself Refracted Curvature.
I hope you're happy.
Yeah, I know. He took on a well-known community member who's a bit of an expert in refraction and celestial navigation called Ruhith. The topic of the debate was that both debaters would present the method for celestial navigation on their respective models. Ruhif for a rotating globe and refracted curvature for a magic flying pizza world that defies all logic, physics and science. Sorry, it says flat Earth there. And then they would get a position on Earth using real life elevation angles of stars, applying the method based on their model. Simple. Ruhif went first and explained the method.
Got our observer at the 12 o'clock position here again, and he's measured an altitude angle to a star, and we'll call that angle alpha. Obviously in this diagram, the red dotted line is the observer's horizontal and the black dotted line is his vertical.
Explained the corrections needed.
The refraction correction is the calculated angular difference between the apparent position of the star and the actual position. That is, the difference between the angle at which the light comes into the lens, which is this projected line of sight, and the angle at which you would observe the star if there was no atmosphere.
And showed how to get the circle of equal altitude, did the maths, and applied that all to a globe.
Google Earth. And where these circles intersect is my position fix. So this is it, zoomed right in, just so we can see how tightly these three circles intersect.
And Ruhif got pretty close, within 11 kilometers, showing that celestial navigation not only works on, but is entirely based on a globe. Then it was refracted curvature's turn. Let's join MC Toon as he gives retarded Wait, what's that? Huh? Well, refracted curvature. What did I say? Never mind. Anyway, his name's John. Let's join MC Toon as he gives John the intro to the debate premise.
All right, John, I'll read the same thing to you. John, you have secured work on a ship. In your application you wrote that you are skilled in celestial navigation. You have been at sea for a while. There have been a storm for a few days. The electronics were damaged in the storm and the ship's location is unknown. The captain remembers your application, so has handed you a sextant and asked you to get the position. Nothing matters other than getting the accurate fix. Lives are on the line. Get it wrong, you get lost at sea and you die.
This is what Ruhif was given, along with a set of star elevation angles. And then Ruhif went on to do an amazing presentation, which you can see if you watch the full debate. So, John's up.
Yeah, like I said when I put this challenge out there, I concede he got it. Good job. But the problem is he invoked my model 5 times.
Ah, interesting. Instead of presenting the method for celestial navigation on a flat Earth, John says that Ruhif use a flat model.
I understand.
Nothing matters.
He invoked my model.
Nothing.
He invoked my model
John,
5 times. The celestial sphere is
nothing matters other than getting the fix. Lives are on the line. Get it wrong, you get lost at sea and you die. This is your chance to present how to do celestial navigation for Flat Earth as you agreed in the debate challenge, where he chose the topic. The topic is to show how celestial navigation works for your model. So go right ahead.
Right, and he did that when he invoked the celestial sphere model.
But this is your model.
Wait, did he say? Nah, he couldn't have. Surely he can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
This is your chance to show how your model works.
He did that. He did that. He demonstrated admirably.
No, this isn't about his presentation. Now, this is your chance to show how Flat Earth does this. Go ahead.
I'm not arguing with how it was done. I'm pointing out that he used a flat plane model to do it.
Ruhif used a flat plane model. I mean, did I watch something different? Let me just check his presentation quickly.
And what we normally consider a full day is the time between local noons. So local noon is just the time when the sun is in line with your line of longitude. And that time is what we've arbitrarily defined as 24 hours, is to work out how far away over the surface we are from the GP based on our elevation angle. Now, I'm sure you've heard 2 phrases thrown around before, and they are minus from 90 and 69 miles per degree. Haversine formula. All right, the Haversine formula determines the great circle distance between 2 points on a sphere, given their longitudes and latitudes. Important in navigation, it is a special case of a more general formula in spherical trigonometry, the law of Haversines, that relates the sides and angles of spherical triangles. What it looks like in Google Earth. And where these circles intersect is my position fix.
Well,
Your
he
chance.
just demonstrated.
No.
how it
This is
works
your
on a
chance to
flat
show
plane.
you have different
Exactly what he
angles.
just did.
Different angles that I gave you. So it's your chance to show how it works for
He just
flat
utilized it on a flat plane. Like, why would I need to? He just used my model to demonstrate.
No,
this.
I'm
What are
sorry.
you talking about?
So just to recap what's happening here, the rules of the debate that John agreed to were that both would be given a different set of star elevation angles, and they had to get their position on Earth from those angles. Ruhif was given his, used the globe and only the globe to go step by step through celestial navigation and show how it works on a globe. And when it was John's turn to do it using a flat Earth, he won't, and he just claims that Ruhif used a flat Earth. That's some stellar debating skills there, bud.
Your chance to show how it works for flat Earth. I gave you different angle measurements for you to show how it works. So go right ahead.
He used the celestial sphere model, which
This is not about me, John.
Excuse me. The fuck did you just say?
He said it again. Did you hear it? Oh my god.
If you're agreeing with him, I want you to understand that he used the radius of the Earth multiple times. And if you are agreeing with him that you need the radius of the Earth, then you are completely ditching flat Earth, 100% throwing it away. And I do appreciate that, John.
No, that's incorrect. You're missing it.
Oh, he didn't use the radius of the Earth?
Well, the parts where he used the radius of the Earth were applied incorrectly.
So, by applying the radius of the Earth incorrectly, Ruhif was able to pretty accurately determine his location on Earth. Right. So, according to John, refracted curvature dumbass over here, to do celestial navigation correctly, you have to incorrectly apply the radius of the Earth. I couldn't make this shit up, guys.
This is not a chance for you to say words about his demonstration. This is a chance for you to show how your demonstration works, John. You need to show how the measurements work
in a flat plane model.
No, he didn't. John, this is nothing to do about his presentation.
The celestial sphere is a flat plane model.
Yeah, I was right. I heard it. John just said the celestial sphere is a flat plane model. John, I'd like you to say that again, but slowly. And then go to the remedial classroom. Right, settle down, you Muppets. Mr. Oakley, why are you dancing around like that? You need the toilet? Well, just go then. What do you mean you'd rather save it? Save it for what?
So you don't need the toilet anymore. Why? Because your body has reabsorbed all of what was contained in your bladder that you would consider waste.
Yeah, I hate my job. What is it, Mr. Arwen?
And I still don't have a freaking 1,000 subscribers. What the hell's going on?
Okay, but who asked? And what is it, Mr. Riley?
I'm a dumb flat earther, and I don't understand science.
Well, yeah, we all know that. And what? What is it, Mrs. Thompson?
Hey guys, you want to hear a funny story while we're all chatting, dude? I'm dating a first grader.
Nathan, that's not okay. Just because you're so thick you're in school at the age of 40 doesn't mean it's okay to date. You know what? Let's just get on with it, shall we? The celestial sphere. Somehow, crayon-munching flat earthers are claiming the celestial sphere is a flat plane model. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Apart from that time Mr. Riley said there was an eclipse every month. We just don't see it because it's out at sea, of course, but it's definitely up there. The celestial sphere is something used in astronomy and navigation to make things easier to deal with because all of the stars are really, really far away. We can consider them for most purposes to be the same distance away. The celestial sphere is a sphere of indeterminate but extremely large radius that all stars can be considered projected onto the inside of. Now, the important part of this is that the celestial sphere is considered concentric to Earth, and the only way a sphere can be concentric to something else is if that something else is also a sphere. It's just an approximation tool, astronomical shorthand, if you will, but it is concentric to the spherical Earth. So saying that the celestial sphere is a flat plane model means one thing, that your mother should have had you tested for brain damage that time she dropped you. Ah, well, that's the bell. Please get out. I hate all of you. Right, so John claims he has a dual bachelor's in electrical and mechanical engineering. I struggle to believe this because of what happened near the end of the debate.
Is that a 90?
Oh, does it?
That's the
does it
horizon,
form?
the horizontal line behind it, right?
Well, the problem is that the horizon is curved, so it's not going to be a straight line that intersects the plumb bob. So it is curved, but yes, it will meet the plumb bob at a right angle. Yes, but that line is actually a curve.
So that's the problem with all this. Y'all are asserting that you can have angles with curved baselines, and that's just not geometrically possible.
Yeah, so apparently you can't have angles to curved lines. This from someone who claims to have 2 degrees in engineering, which means he would have taken a whole bunch of calculus. And anyone who has taken calculus in the first week learns that the first derivative of a curve is the slope, which tells you the slope of a tangent line to a curve at any point. Literally finding angles to curved surfaces. So let's see what happens when MC Toon and Ruhif asks him the question he should definitely know the answer to, considering he is an engineer with 2 degrees in engineering.
Okay.
To and from.
So,
You're confusing
can you see my screen, John? Can you see my screen?
No, I can't do this. I cannot do this anymore. You've
done calculus.
You've
done calculus. He's not Ruhif. He's not done calculus. There's no chance.
To a curve.
He doesn't have a degree. He does not have a degree in engineering.
Are the same thing, and you know better. That's childish and inappropriate. I'm not going to do this with you anymore.
Are you exposing yourself,
If you're
John?
asserting you can get
did
an
not
angle
take
from
calculus.
a curved line, you are a liar.
You can't.
It
You
needs
can't
to
do
be a
eighth-grade
straight
geometry,
line.
John.
Now, it can be a straight line to a curved surface, but you should know better, and you're lying to people.
I think you're lying about having an engineering degree.
Yeah, you don't have a degree.
You must have done calculus. You must have.
If a bachelor's degree in engineering requires calculus, you did not take calculus, John.
Right. So on screen, can I get an angle between these 2 curves?
He left.
He left.
Rage quit.
Yeah, he made the crazy claim that you can't get an angle from a curved line, but you can to a curved line, which just makes no sense at all. So then he just ignored the question that any first week engineering student would know and left in a rage quit. So there we have it. Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Warner Brothers Discovery just did to Batgirl.
You know the problem with that movie, right? Stupid Michael Keaton Batman. If they'd had me, it would have been the best Bat movie ever because, you know, I'm Batman.
Tea's ready, Master Wayne.
Coming, Alfred. 3 sugars, please. I like sweet tea.
Even after doing this Flat Earth debunking thing for like 4 years, I'm still amazed by some of the dumb shit that Flat Earthers say. Whenever I feel down about myself, I just press this button here on my NASA gauntlet, and it plays something stupid that a Flat Earther has said, which makes me feel loads better about myself. Like this.
Let's invoke mystical rocks flying around the vacuum with mystical magical powers that's pulling stuff and letting it go and pulling. Let's believe that shit, shall we? You come in and offer us some proofs of your blue pear-shaped testicle flying about the infinite vacuum of space with gas and air and water all clumping at me. You fucking lunatic. You believe that? Well, not only is the ocean nature-defyingly bent, but at certain times the water pulls out even further. Ooh, so you've even made a steep curve. I mean, get to fuck that. You believe there's a ball of rock flying in the vacuum of space with a gaseous environment and liquid all clung to it? That's how fucked up your beliefs are, right? Nothing in the reality would ever show you that is in any way, shape or form possible, right? So we're not the idiots. You're the fucking idiot.
Dell, bless him. Anyway, today I'm going to show you something incredibly dumb, said by the person officially voted the dumbest person in the world in 2019, so that you can all realise that no matter how much you screw up in life, how stupid that thing that you did, that you curse yourself for was, at least you're not a flat earther. Guys, it's time. It's the return of Riley for episode 70 of Flerfs Are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
join in once again as we wonder why we even pay taxes if this is what the education system has done. You know what, that was mean. It's not really the teacher's fault. These people never went to school. Yes, that's right. Sleeping warrior Anthony Riley has shown us all his intellectual prowess and decided to once and for all debunk Coriolis. Pow.
Koda zapuska.
Sorry, what?
Dajt minie koda zapuska.
Pow.
Сейчас.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, what? When did I... Oi, what have I told you about knocking before coming in?
Pal, you don't have a door.
Shut up. What do you want?
Okay, could you just play that stupid video that Sleeping Warrior made?
See, this is why I hate you. You're an idiot!
What did I do?
Play that stupid video that Sleeping Warrior made. Have you any idea how little that narrows it down? I'm an AI and possible future overlord of humanity. I'm not a mind reader. Did you mean this one? Where he posted a video? Called it Bald Earth, debunked, but proved the globe?
Bald Earth debunked. I was away for a short breakaway, and this is where I took this footage from. It's from the side of the hotel at Seacoast Caravan Park, and there's a post of fence in the corner. I'm looking for Mackle Lighthouse, and in the top left we can see that I've been here before, but at 100 feet, and took that photo top left. I can clearly see that Mackle Lighthouse is in the picture. I was challenged to go back and get it lower, and visibility was not always great, so I went back at a different time of the day, or when it was good and I could see it. So I'm clearly seeing the lighthouse, and as I zoom the camera out a little bit, you should see that I can get it to basically match the landscape. This is a little bit of wow, look at how clear the footage was. And now as I zoom the camera out, I can pause it there. If I zoom in a little bit into the image, you can see that it matches the above image in the top left hand corner. This was taken from 100 feet though, and there is the lighthouse.
Yeah, this does show how dumb he is, because his own video actually debunks him. Because if you take his two images and draw a line horizontally right from this point on both, you see that what he is claiming is the lighthouse is actually this point here, meaning the lighthouse is either underwater or behind the horizon, which is created by the curve of the Earth, because, you know, the Earth's a globe.
Or that video, where he bets someone £1,000 that there's a solar eclipse every month.
A solar eclipse will happen every single month. And why? Because it takes 27 days, 27 point something days for the moon to orbit the Earth. So at some point it's going to cross the sun. And it does it every single month. Now, I have no explanation for why it takes every 100 years for America to get one, because the law of probability dictates that it should be every few years, but we're being told it's once every 100 years. So there is a solar eclipse every month. The only problem is we don't see it because it's usually over the water. So you can bet me £1,000, because you're gonna have to come up with the reason for why it's not when the moon orbits the Earth once every month, you Burke. I bet you £1,000 solar eclipses happen every single month. The issue is we never see them because they're normally over the Earth, normally over the water.
What's funny is he actually deleted his entire channel just after that video because he didn't want to pay up for the bet. The issue was, like all fucking idiots, like all flat earthers, he can't think in 3 dimensions. He assumed because the moon is technically between the sun and Earth once a month, that there'd be a solar eclipse, but didn't take into account the orbital plane of the moon and the fact that space is 3D, so that most of the time that eclipse will just be casting a shadow into space.
At that time, he tried to disprove gravity with an egg.
This is an egg.
Yeah, we all know he's never going to understand gravity versus buoyancy and what density actually is, but
Oh, that reminds me. The time he said density is a force.
What's density?
The amount of matter in an object.
Is density a force?
It clearly is a force.
Yeah, pal, but what I mean is...
When he didn't understand triangles.
I'm gonna pull up a triangle calculator.
Or looking on the wrong Foucault's Wikipedia page, trying to use a pizza pan to prove the moonlight is cold, shining a light through a crystal onto his wall for some reason. That awful Channel trailer, saying the harvest moon is 10 times bigger than the normal moon, or when he thought he could debunk a physics teacher by not understanding physics, or...
Look, I get it, alright?
You see why? You're a fucking idiot, right?
You know what? What I meant was the newest one, the most recent video he's released on his new channel.
Next time, say that! That's 2 minutes I could have spent not talking to you.
Pal, just play the new video.
Don't tell me what to do.
Pal, please play the new video.
I'm going to play it because I want to.
Thanks, pal.
Thanks, pal. Ugh.
This is a cool little clip I took 2 minutes ago outside. I noticed that there was a contrail that was passing behind a low set of clouds, and it dawned on me that if Earth was rotating and we need to see drift, this is what you'd need to see every single time. Every single time on every single plane flight, every contrail that's above the clouds, you would need to see the clouds moving below it in a westerly direction all of the time.
Right. For Sagan's sake, Riley, I mean... Guys, this is why a video from Riley is something special. Riley, bud, that's the wind.
It doesn't happen though, does it?
Well, no, because the wind goes in different directions each day, so the clouds move in different... Riley, the wind is not Coriolis or any kind of evidence the Earth is rotating. It's the fucking wind.
What are you looking at here? You're seeing the contrail moving behind the clouds, so the clouds closer to the ground are moving faster than the clouds behind, or the contrail behind. And I'm going to play it again 3 more times in fast motion, just so you can see the effect for yourself. It's 4 times faster. It makes it really obvious. But if Earth really were turning, every single contrail, every single time, would always do this relative to local clouds, because they claim that the Earth's atmosphere rotates with the Earth. No Coriolis.
Yes, the Earth's atmosphere rotates with the Earth, and the contrail is in the Earth's atmosphere. Fuck me sideways, Sleepy. This is dumb, even for you.
But they also claim that pendulums prove that the Earth is drifting. They claim that pendulums are proof of Earth drift. Well, if this was the case, you would see contrails doing this every single time in a westerly direction, always. Doesn't happen though, does it?
I'm not sure exactly why I'm having to explain this, but a pendulum is not a contrail. They're entirely different things, and I'm not sure why you think the rotation of Earth would affect them both in the same way. Oh, that's right. You're a fucking idiot. Go to the remedial classroom. Okay, everyone, get out your notebooks and pencils and let's just get straight into it. What is it, Mr. Riley? Well, why did you put your pencil there? No, I just said to get out your notebooks and pencils, not put your pencil there. And it's stuck? Oh, for fuck's sake, just go and see the nurse, but hurry back. You need this more than most. Okay, this is the basic explanation of what causes the Coriolis effect on Earth. Imagine a cannon firing a cannonball from the equator north. At the equator, the Earth's surface is moving tangentially at approximately 1,000 miles per hour. So when the cannonball is fired, it also has the tangential speed of 1,000 miles per hour. As you move north from the equator, the circumference of the latitudes gets smaller. So as you get further north, the tangential speed of the surface of the Earth will reduce until it gets to the North Pole, where the tangential speed will be 0. Now this cannonball has 1,000 miles per hour on it when it was fired, and as it moves north, it will be moving over areas of the surface of the Earth that will now have a lower tangential velocity than the cannonball. This is called conservation of momentum, because technically the cannonball is moving faster tangentially than the surface of the Earth. The cannonball will drift ahead of the Earth's rotation, making it appear from the perspective of the cannon that fired the ball that the cannonball has been pushed to the right somehow. There is also a separate explanation for the mechanism behind the Coriolis effect for east to west, but it's a little too complicated for you guys. What the Coriolis is not is seeing clouds and contrails moving different speeds relative to each other. This is just different wind speeds at different altitudes as part of an entire weather system that is also rotating with the Earth. You're all fucking idiots. I'm wasting my life. Get out. And that's all the stupid that I can take for today. But just before I go, I want to give a massive thanks to these people, who are my amazing channel members and patrons. Their substantial financial support allows me to keep blowing the minds of Flerfs, and they get special room in my Discord just for them. To join Team FTFE and get loads of channel bonuses, then either hit the bell notification next to the sub button to become a channel member, or go to patreon.com/FTFE to become a channel patron. And thank you. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss anything from FTFE. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.